Welcome back, guys, to another Mesh Network preview technical analysis. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and head on over to the free Mesh Telegram group. Links are all down below in the description. So we jump in and take a look at gold US dollar. So we did have monthly closure last week, and we can see we've been making this bullish move up into obviously this area around 2000, which we've been talking about as an important level of resistance for gold. Say we've not had any closures above it yet. Over the past, we had this sort of triple top play, so obviously a nice reversal pattern. But still watching this over the last few weeks. Just been watching this area. So obviously this area here and this area here around 1927 call it. So I've been waiting to see if price can establish support at that area on a monthly before coming back up to retest this 2000 area and potentially break free of that break up above that area. So yeah, we're still technically we're still bullish on gold, but it's just mostly indecision. It's been a very choppy on gold. I've personally not took many trades on gold there the last few weeks, just off the choppiness of it. So we go down into the weekly. As you can see, we had this channel, a bit of a weekly channel coming up, right, towards the 2K area mentioned. And then once we started to see resistance, once we started to see this resistance here, we were making not the cleanest of bullish structure, but clean in the sense that we had this previous higher high, this higher low. We broke that. We made this higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. But then we started seeing we're failing to make that new higher high. So we do technically make a higher high here, but if we look at all the wicks to the upside around this 2K, you can see we're running out of bullish momentum here. And then that's when the bulls, the bears obviously took control, broke through this area of structure that we can see there, came back and retested it, and now it's giving us nice clean bearish structure. We've also got a break of this weekly trend line. So as you can see, of this candle here, as you can see, price came towards this weekly trend line. We was respecting it for a couple of weeks, and then price pulled down, give us this wick to the downside, suggesting that we we're going to start making a move to the upside. Then as you can see on the lower time range, we probably got a break and retest of this area before we come down. But now you can see we're now trading and closed below this previous high. So another thing to pay attention to is this previous Mariposa candle, which obviously was fundamentals. That was in March. That was SVB collapse. A lot of bullish volume came in during those that Black Swan event. But as you can see, we've got these levels here around 1870 of resistance. So potentially we could come down just off going what price action's doing. Now we could see a retest of this area around 19400, 1940, sorry. But that's the previous area of weekly structure and where we broke out this trend line. We could see a retest of that area and then start to head back down towards these lows, potentially these areas of resistance, which, as mentioned, around say 1870. We look at 1860 these areas, so just so like 1870, yeah. So as you can see, we've got potential for price to retest that weekly structure where we had 1940. We had that area of supply and demand before coming back down to either tap this area at 1870 or to potentially come down to these lows. So that's just going off the weekly chart. If we have a look down on the daily. So once again, we just obviously mentioned that we are now technically bearish on the weekly. So we go into the daily. So on the daily, as we've been mentioning over the last few weeks, we had this area of consolidation. If we now look over here, we see price after. So like we said on the weekly, we probably had a retest on the smaller time frame. So if we have a look on the daily, we broke out. This was this wick. This was the wick on the weekly candle, and then came back and we retested that area perfectly before breaking down through this structure. So if you look, support. So it's showing it's a very strong area of support. But once again, this typical pattern we see where price starts trading lower into support, and we see these descending triangles or ascending triangles depending on the overall market sentiment. But as we see this area getting retested over and over again, it's finally broke. And like we say, once we see this descending triangle coming into this area of strong support, and it's constantly getting retested, as you guys know, the more the support gets retested, eventually when it breaks, we see a lot of volume come in. So we did see that break, that retest, and now we're seeing price trade to the downside, but we're starting to see support established where price previously established supports here around 1900, which once again it's a flat number. So a lot of retail traders paying attention to these numbers, to this area, sorry. So then if we look here, we've got a bit of a trend line on the daily as well. We have got a bit of a trend line on the daily. So I'm waiting for price to, we've had this bit of a retest. Once we had the break, we had the retest, and then we had the third leg extension failure to break below this area of support at 1900, which, as mentioned before, 1900 to 2K, we've got a bit of a consolidation area going on. So we're now at the bottom of that consolidation range, but I'm expecting price to pull back up, break these highs. Obviously, with this daily closure above this trend line that we've tapped 1, 2, 3 times, we've now had a bit of a morning start with a lot of wicks to the downside, suggesting that 1900's holding the support. We've now had the break of this. We're just throwing 8MA on. We're now currently closed just above the 8MA on this trend line on the daily, so we could potentially break through this area of resistance, come up to retest this area around 1940. But we've got a bit of an order block imbalance here around 1950 to 1956. So we could potentially see, if price invalidates 1940 as resistance, we could see a liquidity grab at 1954 before heading back down to 1900 and potentially breaking that. But once again, guys, that's what I'm looking for. Obviously, gold very choppy at the minute, so be careful. Take only the highest probability trades, quality over quantity. But you see, we have had a retest of this area here, so just to pay attention to, we could start to see this area of resistance and then trading back into 1900. But highest probability would be to wait for this area around 1900 to break, retest, and take sells. But we could potentially see, we could see price come up to retest this area or this area before we look to take sells back into this area, potentially making a third leg extension and coming down lower. But once again, guys, get yourself over to the free mesh Telegram group where we update our technical analysis. We're limited to what we can see now. Obviously, the market's closed at the minute, but there's a few scenarios that go on gold at the minute. But get yourselves over to the Telegram group and we'll update the technical analysis throughout the week. But yeah, that's me outlook on gold for this week.